Welcome to Dr. Dorian's House of Killers, where we take a look at all your favorite killers and see how they could be implemented into Dead by Daylight. Today, we are looking at the Candyman. Roll the intro. The Candyman from the Candyman franchise probably doesn't need an introduction. Still, I will have in the description a link to the wiki. And of course, you are more than welcome to watch the movies. We will start, as always, with the base stats. The Candyman will be a fast killer, 150% movement speed, 4.6 meters per second. His size will be big, and his terror radius will also be big. In case you haven't seen one of my videos before, I am of the opinion that that killers should have different types of powers, sort of like a loadout. Some things that can vary, not just with add-ons, but they should always have the same map effect in case they have one, just so that you can't deduce what power the killer took based on the map effect. In normal terms, if there are traps, there is a trapper, but who knows, maybe the trapper could also have different types of traps. Still, the traps would look the same on the ground, or both types of traps would lie around, and you'd have to pay attention which ones he picks up, just for an example. Okay, map effect. Beehives. Honeycombs can be extracted from beehives every 60 seconds. Using a honeycomb will remove a bee-related power. We'll get to that shortly. Power 1. Bee-coated. The Candyman infests a gen with bees. Bees increase the difficulty and frequency of skill checks, as well as prompt them to spawn on random locations on the screen. Using one honeycomb removes bees from a gen. So, in effect, you have something like a smaller skill check zone. Skill checks happen more often, and it can be somewhere on the map, similar to when insanity happens with the doctor. Not backwards, though. Just different points on the points on the screen. Let me put it that way. Alternate power 1. So instead of be coated, be blocking. The Candyman can block any door as long as there is at least one other exit. Doing so prevents anybody from going through the doorway, also the Candyman, so nobody can get through. The killer has 3 tokens. Blocking a door uses 1 token. If the killer needs a new token, he has to go back to a previously blocked doorway and unblock it. So you could see it as the bees. One bee cluster is 1 token. So if you want to have a bee cluster again to put it somewhere else, you have to retrieve it. The survivors can use a honeycomb to remove a bee blocked doorway. If a doorway is unblocked, the killer gets his token back that way. So the idea is the bees get the honey, and then they go back to the Candyman instead of the door that they blocked. An interesting alternative could also be that the doorway damages when you run through it. Might be an idea. Maybe an add-on. Power 2. So in addition to one of the power 1s we just had, ghost doorway. A doorway leading to a different point on the map is summoned in front of the killer. Going through it takes you to the spirit world. The exit point is chosen at the killer's discretion, so you can decide where you exit. Then summoning another doorway. After going through a door, the person is back in the physical realm. Going through a door or exiting the spawn radius, let's say 12 meters, removes the door. So as soon as a person goes through, the door disappears, or as soon as the Candyman leaves the area where he summoned the door to, the door disappears. It might be that only when the Candyman goes through it disappears, because survivors can also enter the spirit realm. Movement speed in the spirit realm is increased by 50%. That's 2.0 meters per second more. Should a survivor be in the spirit realm, for as long as they are in the spirit realm, they are exposed, and if they get downed in the spirit realm, they are automatically transported onto a hook in the basement in the real world. The killer can, however, not see any stains or scratch marks, so it's in effect actually only good for moving, maybe listening. You can whiz across the map pretty fast, but having to summon a door in order to go through and summon a door in order to leave gives it kind of a disadvantage for chases, more of a long distance kind of thing. Also, not being able to track very well is another part of it. So the idea is more of a movement type of thing. Just saying. Now we get to the perks. Hook chain. The killer gets 2, 3, or 4 tokens, depending upon the tier of the perk. For each token, he can take a hook from a hook. Only one hook can be carried at a time, so you can take a hook, then from one of the hooks, and then you can carry it around with you. Any downed survivor can be impaled with that hook. Doing so transports the survivor to the hook where the killer got the hook from. Very confusing. I hope it's relatable. So if you get a hook from the basement hooks and you hook a down survivor, that survivor is automatically transported into the basement. Similar to a cage from Pyramid Head, but just hooks. It also then works with hook-related perks such as barbecue and chili or unhooking yourself and stuff like that. Perk number 2, be my victim. After downing a survivor, you can make the survivor the obsession. When the obsession is unhooked, the obsession is visible for 2, 3, or 4 seconds, depending upon the tier of the perk. Last perk, frightening death. For each death in the match, the survivors suffer a regression to healing, repairing, totem cleansing, and exit gate opening from 5 to 10 to 15%, depending upon the tier of the perk. What do you think of my ideas? Do you have alternate ideas for powers or perks? Leave them in the comments below or come into my chat. I stream Monday a variety of games, Tuesday DB Day in case you're interested, and then every other Wednesday and Friday other games. Also, my upload schedule for House of Colors is every Sunday, just saying. Consider subscribing, leaving a like, a comment, it helps out. And until next time, toodles.